Warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. The scene a short time ago, this crowd decked out in purple, and they were in full roar as their guys burst out of the locker room. We're ready for football, folks, as the Vikings get set to do battle with Russell Wilson and the Seattle Seahawks. Final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. From the end zone comes Chris Claybrooks to return. He's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. This defense for the Vikings, much improved from week 1. They were terrific last week in getting their guys their first win of the season.
And that's not the half of it. They forced 7 turnovers in that game, and I know we always talk about turnovers coming in bunches once you force the first one. But 7? That seems almost impossible, but we watched it happen.
They go back to Carson here on second. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. This defense for the Vikings, much improved from week 1. They were terrific last week in getting their guys their first win of the season.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
To throw is Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Gerald Everett. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A nice pickup of 10 means that this drive will stay on track. On first down, it's Carson. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Brings up 2nd and 2 at the 37-yard line.
Here's Carson, and this carry not as productive. He swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Play action. Now Wilson. Out left, he's got it to Everett. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. So for this defense, a tall order ahead trying to defend against Russell Wilson. Charles, your keys for how they might go about keeping him in check?
Well, before we even get to the keys, let's start with the problems he presents, because he feels pressure so well. He's got a great 6th sense, maybe even a 7th and 8th. He knows where the pressure's coming from. He knows how to slide away from it, sometimes run away from it, and then he finds good throwing lanes to deliver downfield. So to me, it's that pressure inside, big, tall guys to make him try and throw over them and make his height work against him.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Here's Wilson. And this throw incomplete. The defender all over it that time, and it's going to lead to third down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
A long way to go here on third down for the 8th play of the drive. Throwing again here, Wilson. And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or two shy of the 10.
We expected this defense to be tested by this passing game coming into this one, and there's an example on this first possession of the game.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They run it with Carson. And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard.
And this is why aggressive defense coordinators love to blitz. It wreaks havoc because they end up taking their attention to the blitzers, freed up the D lineman to make the play.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now Wilson. And a quick throw here, that's complete. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
Well, I know from past experience, before you actually play a game, you visualize what's going to happen. And I don't know anyone who doesn't visualize themselves being in the center of what's going on. That's 3 catches for him here in the early going. He's got to like the way this is started.
Absolutely. 3 catches on any drive is good. Opening drive, that's a tone setter. And he will be very close to a first down. I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down. This Minnesota D up to the task on the 3rd down pass play. And on their first drive, the offense staying out there. They're going to go for it on 4th. They'll try and throw for it with Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Gerald Everett, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on the opening drive. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the 4th quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Here's Cousins. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And this is dropped. Oh, boy. A chance for a big play early, but he could not secure it.
But they certainly came out firing in this one, and while that one was incomplete, I can't imagine that'll be the last shot that they take in this game.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Cousins. He's going to get this one down to Cook. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27. Now, Charles, what's the mindset here offensively? You gave up the touchdown pretty quickly. Would it have changed if you had gotten a stop and it would be 0-0 right now, or no?
I wouldn't think so. I think in most cases, just down a touchdown, you know, I mean, we're just getting started here. It should be a long way to go. You think to yourself, stick with the game plan, all the things you worked on in practice. But you have some teams that when they get down, their natural tendency is to aggressively strike back. And let's see if they want to get outside of the game plan we expect and try and be aggressive on their first series.
So on 4th down, Britton Colquitt on to punt. Back deep for the Seahawks, Tyler Lockett. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They have to be thrilled with that first drive. They got them the touchdown. Now they'll be looking to make it a 2-score advantage here on the road.
And you know they spent all week in practice, in meetings, talking about taking an early advantage. Being the road team, going up a score, that takes the crowd out of the game and puts some doubt in the minds of their opponents.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Now a give, right side. Carson still churning. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down. Well, this defense for the Vikings, much improved from week 1. They were terrific last week in getting their guys their first win of the season.
It was a little bit enlightening talking with the defensive coordinator about their performance last week because the feeling was that it was a good, solid performance. They did what they needed to do to get the job done and get the win, but definitely a few lapses that they're looking to correct.
On 3rd down, it's Carson. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. After 1, 7-0 on EA Sports. Now they'll run the jet sweep with Atwell. And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. A gain of 3, 2nd down. Defensively, they had that one pretty well figured out.
Yeah, and one of the things about this play, it can be even more effective when you run a lot of motion, and there's plenty of times you don't hand it off.
Now they'll throw it with Wilson. He'll find Eskridge here complete. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air. And sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now it's Wilson. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And that is incomplete. Oh, he had it and dropped it. That is an unforced error there, and it takes away what could have been a touchdown. Here's 2nd and 10. Wilson. They'll run the screen with Carson. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. Give him 32 on the play. The thing that hurt on that play, the missed tackle, that allowed the extra yardage.
It's a matchup game in the NFL. You get the guy that you want isolated, have him miss a tackle, and off you go.
Now a chance to make that big play really hurt. It's 1st and goal just outside the 5. Wilson will throw again. And he is going to go down back at the 11-yard line. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. So they get pushed back to the 11, and here's 2nd and goal. Another try after the first down sack. Wilson. Oh, he tries to get it to Metcalf, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. Past the 10 to the 11-yard line, and that's where the return stops. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Second and 5 at the 16-yard line.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. To throw, Cousins. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And he'll take this across the 25 before going out of bounds. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here. First down, here's the run with Cook. And not a lot of daylight, not really any daylight inside, as he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Brings up 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 27.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Play action now, Cousins. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So the big play gets them across midfield now for 1st and 10. Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off by DJ Reed. And the return out shy of midfield to the 46-yard line. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
That's complete to Disley, the tight end. And a gain of 4 gets him right to the midfield stripe. They'll contain him to just 4. 2nd down. Play action. It's Wilson. He hits his target, Lockett. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30.
And that guy just keeps getting better. And I'm talking about Tyler Lockett, who just made that nice catch there for a 1st down. Now in his 7th season with Seattle, last year may have been his finest yet. And even 100 catches, many of them of the spectacular variety. Paired with DK Metcalf, a heck of a dynamic duo for the Seahawks.
They'll run on 1st down. Carson, and he gets stopped up at the 31 after a gain of maybe a yard. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's their 2nd, so they'll have 1 remaining here in this 2nd quarter. We'll be right back. Wilson after the play fake to Carson. He's got his man. That's Everett, the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. A good pickup there, 26 yards.
Oh, a lot of credit to the play caller here. He saw the design in his mind and implemented it. A little zone stretcher here because they started the tight end on the left side of the formation and sent him on a crossing route. And this works really well when you can find that space between levels, and they were able to do so for good yardage.
Here's Wilson. He's got a man. It's his fullback. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. Things made a little more difficult after the false start as they try again on 2nd and goal. Now it's Carson. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Chris Carson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Seahawks find a way to stretch their lead. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words, early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. On second down, Cook. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down.
When trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
The passing game not in sync here early, and now it's fourth down. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So possession goes over here on the punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. Catch is made by Metcalf. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 23 yards on the play.
And the Seahawks first down.
On first down, Wilson. Pressure comes, and Wilson's going to go down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop him with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on second and long. Wilson. Thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. Mackenzie Alexander with a pick. And his crew will take over with a football at the 35-yard line. And that now 2 interceptions thrown in the second quarter.
And you know, a lot of people look at these guys and they think to themselves that maybe, possibly, they're still thinking about the first one. And they probably are. I think in this case, he's just trying to atone for the first interception. Tried a little bit too hard, maybe forced it a bit, and instead created a second one. Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down. So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves them staring up here at a 3rd and 8. Play fake. Cousins. Able to shake him off. Flush to his right. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
On play action, Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. 2nd and 10. Working out of the gun, Cousins. He's going to try and go deep again. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Joseph on for the field goal. A 70-yard attempt.
So we come upon halftime with our score 14-0. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Final adjustments being made in the locker rooms. We're just about ready for the second half from Minneapolis. And for the call, let's rejoin Brandon and Charles.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Vikings set to receive the second half kickoff, and they trail it here as we resume play. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And they're still very much in this game, although they do trail. What's the game plan, Charles, for the second half?
It might be a little counterintuitive because most people will think losing equals passing the ball more, but I'd establish the running game. They kind of went away from it in the first half. I think if they get back in balance, it'll help them when they put the ball back in the air.
They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Cousins gives way to Cook. And some room to maneuver. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That good for 22 and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Handoff comes to Cook. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. On 3rd down, Cousins. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Coverage was awfully tight there on 3rd down. They actually closed off all the passing lanes, forcing the incompletion and bringing up 4th down.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. And no return here. Where will they spot him? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They stay on the ground. Again, it's Carson. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a third and about 4.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Here's Wilson to throw.
And this will go to Carson out wide.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. First down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 52 yards on the ground for him so far.
Brings up 2nd and a yard.
The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard. Wilson going to fake the give and keep it himself. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first. So that was all you're looking for on a play like that. Get the first down and keep the drive moving.
Yeah, it just looked to me like he just said to himself, I've got this. I'll take it. I'll pick it up, and let's keep moving. Get the first down, get a new set, and let's start over.
Check 15, check 15. Undercut.
On first down, it's Carson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Mackenzie Alexander in on the tackle. If this defense wants to stay in this ballgame, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
Throwing is Wilson. This complete to Lockett. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. A big pickup of 38. The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's first and goal from just inside the 10. Now Wilson. Forced out to his left. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Russell Wilson. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Seahawks add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Into the secondary past the 40. And he'll take it to the 43-yard line. An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
And that's why Dalvin Cook is the Minnesota Vikings featured back. You put the ball in his hands, good things happen. Second in the NFL last year in rushing with 1,557 yards. And that's now back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with 30 combined total touchdowns.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Things just kind of continuing to unravel for him here in this second half. They take the shot downfield, but this defense, once again, up to the task.
Well, this is where you think about the old phrase, desperate times call for desperate measures, because they've got nothing on the scoreboard, and they're just trying to get something, anything to go their way. But in this case, they turn the ball over.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in. Glad to have you with us from Minneapolis. Third quarter here, 2nd and 10. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. Carson the first down and more. And they will finally get him down to the 27-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
And the Seahawks, first down.
They'll run on first down. Carson. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 64 yards on the ground for him now as he's done that on 15 carries. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Still going. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20.
First down, Seahawks.
And that is going to do it for this third quarter of action. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. On first down, it's Carson. And the lane closes up quickly as he'll get about 3 down to the 38.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They go back to Carson here on second. And he's going to get this inside the 30. It's a gain of 12, first down Seahawks. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Out left, he's got it to Everett. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down. Well, clear running situation. Try to take time off the clock. You ran the previous play. Set that play action up nicely.
Boy, did they ever, because they'd shown the ability to run the football. So now you lose your keys as a defense. You dive for the running play, and they hit.
And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. DK Metcalf, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Seahawks are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the fourth quarter. Myers connects on the PAT, and that makes the score 28-0. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone. No run back here, down to a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
Following the good run by Cook, here's another 1st and 10. To throw is Cousins. He's going to get this one down to Cook. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Trying to run inside, but nothing there.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
3rd and short yardage, Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. 9 yards that time.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And this time not quite to the 30. He'll be down at the 31-yard line. 67 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Cousins now. Complete. Jefferson the target. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
If he's their best threat on offense, use your #1 cover guy on defense. It doesn't matter about size.
They have had him locked up. That just his first catch of the game. Big reason why they're down. On 2nd down now. It's Cook. And only a yard this time as he's taken down right around the 26. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They face a 3rd down now as they try to find a late score. Open man is Westbrook, complete. And he will score. Touchdown, Vikings. D.D. Westbrook, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings are finally on the board here in the 4th quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Minnesota's kick team ready, and the Vikings boom it away.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. They're looking at a 3rd straight win here if they can hold on. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
They go back to Carson here on 2nd. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result. Negative yardage. Wilson defers to Penny here on the draw. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 1st down Seattle on a pickup of 13.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So the victory here for Seattle. And we talk so much about the turnover battle, determining who wins, who loses. This game, no exception. Air-free football, no turnovers at all, and they win it.
So this is one you don't have to convince your team that what you're saying is accurate. And you know what I'm talking about. Head coach always stands up in front of the team and says, guys, if we do this, this, and this, we'll win. And usually they say if we win the turnover battle, we'll win. Well, here's the proof right there. Win the turnover battle, go on to victory. Now the guys believe. You move on to the next lesson where you have to convince them. This one is now planted.
So for the Seahawks, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get another road test next week as they have to go to Santa Clara to take on the 49ers. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they'll fall to 1-2, and they'll try to make amends next week as they host the Cleveland Browns.